We're heading into the last couple of weeks of the year, a year that has been quite a year for most people. And today I just want to share a little bit of an exercise and a couple of reminders as you just navigate the next couple of weeks leading into the new year, and as you're thinking about what 2026 might look like. Welcome. I'm Peggy Oliveira. Thank you for joining me. That felt very strange to say 2026. But I'm looking forward to being able to say 2026. So this is a time that can be stressful for a lot of the reasons that we talk about here on this channel. Whether it is just feeling like you have a lot going on and you don't have the time or energy, or maybe even desire to do it, maybe having to spend time with people that end up leaving you feeling worse about yourself, your life, your healing, or maybe just feeling really isolated and alone, whether you are literally alone or just the feeling of being really alone, even if you're among a bunch of people, which I know is something that probably most of the people who watch my videos can relate to. It's also a time when people start thinking about how 2026 is going to be the year that they do whatever they've been wanting to do. Maybe have tried other years and didn't succeed. Things that they think that they need to do or change or be. And that adds to the level of stress that people feel this time of year. It's stressful enough as it is, but when you add a lot of expectations onto an entire year, it really can be not only stressful, but even if it doesn't feel particularly stressful in terms of like things that you're thinking about, the pressure that we can often feel because we tend to look at things in success or failure types of ways can be pretty significant. So a couple of things. One is just kind of navigating the next couple of weeks, a few weeks probably really overall, and some things to consider in terms of thinking about 2026. So, one is that whatever you have going on over these next couple of weeks, whatever you may be celebrating or not celebrating, this is going to sound kind of strange, and some of you are going to probably roll your eyes and think, yeah, that would be nice. But I'm going to say it because I think it's important for you to hear. Whether you do it or not, I think it's just important for you to hear again, to have a reminder that you are worthy of your time. You are worthy of being cared for. And so often, it starts with us. If we are not taking care of ourselves, it feels really difficult, if not impossible, to allow others to care for us. And that care could look a lot of different ways. It could be something really kind of simple, or it could be something much more significant. But if we are not taking care of ourselves, it's reinforcing an idea that we don't matter. Maybe we don't matter as much as this other person. Maybe our needs don't matter, our wants don't matter because of whatever circumstance might be contributing to having it be challenging to meet that need or desire. So being able to really try to wrap, in a sense, your heart around the idea that not only do you matter, but taking care of yourself is important. And it's not just important for how you feel in a moment, it's really important for your healing. It truly is. And I know that it can sometimes feel really impossible to understand the significance of that or how that even really works. But I can promise you, and if you follow me for any length of time, you know that I don't promise very much, but I can promise you that it makes a difference. You may not feel it immediately. You may even struggle a little bit with it in terms of maybe feeling guilty or feeling undeserving or just having a lot of difficulty implementing the thing that you want to implement. That is part of the process of healing. But when you give yourself this space, and whether that's time, whether that is solitude, whether it like healthy solitude or some sort of resource, and that resource could be time, while it can feel uncomfortable at times, when you do it with intention, it does make a difference over time. Each time it builds upon itself. So while the first 10 times, the first 20 times may not seem like it's making any difference, at some point you will get to a place where you choose it and it makes a big difference, and you'll recognize that it's made a big difference. And I think that's important to think about for a moment, the idea of being able to recognize it, because I would suggest that even though you may not recognize it in those first however many times, there's still benefit in it. Even if that discomfort or the guilt, whatever it might be, might kind of override the benefit, or it keeps you from being able to feel or see the benefit, there's still some benefit in it. So whatever that means for you, and I would encourage you to take a moment, maybe even pause this right now, and think about how you're feeling, first of all. Just notice what has been present for you. Are you feeling stressed out? Are you feeling worried about something? Are you anticipating something that's leaving you feeling some level of uncertainty or anxiety or stress? Maybe there's a part of you that's looking forward to something, and that's important to recognize too. But in noticing what is present for you, how are you feeling emotionally? How are you feeling physically? And what do you need? And if you feel like there isn't anything that you need that you're not currently experiencing, what might you want? What might be helpful to help you get through these next few weeks as we enter a new year? And it could be spending time with somebody, maybe a particular person, or maybe it's spending time generally out with people, or maybe quietly in your home. Maybe it is needing to give yourself some alone time, which is not the same as isolating. And it can be difficult sometimes to know the difference. But time on your own in a good way feels good. Isolating, you might feel safer, but you don't necessarily experience it as feeling good. And that's kind of a general way maybe to think about it. But what do you need? Do you need time away from something? Do you need to engage yourself more in something? Really let yourself think about what would be beneficial to you, and see if you can carve out some time, some space for even just a little bit of that. You've earned it. Not that you need to earn it, but I promise you, you have earned it. So really think about that. What might be helpful to help you get through these next few weeks? I would also say that if over these next few weeks you will be, or you're anticipating spending time with people that you end up feeling worse after spending time with them, even if you can't implement it yet, remind yourself that it is not only okay, but it is healthy to set boundaries or parameters around relationships, around different types of experiences, that are not good for you. That is a healthy thing to do. And that doesn't have to be like a no contact thing specifically, though for some people it may be. And this time of year, it's really hard to try to set boundaries when there are expectations about things. So even if you don't do anything different about that this year, just continue to remind yourself that it is not only okay, but it's healthy. And if you also need a reminder that you are deserving and worthy, this is it. You are deserving and worthy of being treated in a way that makes you feel better, that makes you feel peaceful and safe. And I know that that can be hard to believe and to trust, but it doesn't make it less real. So, the part about thinking about 2026, a new year, and all the possibility that that kind of just has inherently as we enter into a new year. I know for a lot of people, there is a lot of pressure that we put on ourselves. And I know that, especially if it's been a challenging year in whatever way that might mean for you, sometimes those expectations can be even more kind of extreme in a sense. And so I've talked about this before, but again, a reminder that I would like to encourage you if you are finding yourself thinking about it, and maybe even if you haven't been thinking about like resolutions or goals or whatever for the new year, which if you are thinking about it in that way, I would encourage you to consider instead a different way that I'll talk about in a second. But I would like to encourage you to think about, and this is kind of where I was going with that, thinking about giving yourself the space, to think about, how do I want to feel? How do I want to show up? But most importantly, how do I want to feel? And this is something that applies all year long. It's certainly not for just the beginning of a new year. But I think that because we tend to focus ourselves, but also lots of people around us are focusing on the new year, new me sort of thing, that kind of taking that and turning it a little bit to not what do I want to do, what do I want to accomplish, what are my goals for the year. There can be a place for that at times for sure, but instead of focusing on that and all the things that means that you need to change about yourself, thinking about, how do I want to feel? What do I want to experience? And when I say experience, I'm not talking about things that you're going to do that you get to check off a list. I'm talking about experiences, like maybe it's specific things that you might do, or it could be things that you want to experience in terms of how things leave you feeling. Like maybe you want to experience the thrill of a new endeavor, whatever that might mean. Maybe it's a new hobby, maybe it's risking connection, maybe it's writing a book, whatever it might be. But what do I want to experience? So in that case, it's not a goal of writing that book. It's, I want to feel the thrill of writing a book. So it doesn't mean that it has to be finished. It doesn't mean that it has to get to any particular place, but it just means that I want to experience that feeling of starting on the book that I've thought about writing. Or I want to feel a sense of accomplishment, or I want to feel whatever it might be, but focusing instead on the feeling and an experience that may lead to that feeling, not as a goal. So you're not going to write that down in terms of exactly what you're going to do or when you're going to do it or when you're going to do it by, But just let yourself explore what that might mean for you. And when it comes to thinking about what you want to experience or feel, you don't have to know how you're going to make it happen. You're not going to create a to-do list of things to get there. This is just about letting yourself not only explore, but to really allow yourself to consider the possibility that that could be available to you. That it truly could be something possible for you to experience in your life. And if you think about like just something simple like contentment, and you think about, okay, I want to experience throughout the year a sense of contentment. One, it can take you away from the idea of certain things that you have to do in order to be able to experience it, because a sense of contentment can come from a lot of different things. A sense of joy can come from a lot of different things. Connection can come from a lot of different places or people and experiences. A sense of thrill can come from a lot of different things as well. So whatever the feeling is, you're not trying to come up with exactly what that needs to look like. You're just allowing yourself to kind of settle into the idea that you get to experience that. So I hope that as you've watched this video, you have found yourself kind of just considering what that might be for you. And not, again, like what it is that you will be doing necessarily, but just kind of being open to what I want to feel. And my guess is that there's been a lot in 2025 that probably hasn't felt good for any number of reasons. And some of that is just life, because life, even when things are pretty good, life can still be messy. But if you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you are on this healing journey. And when you're on a healing journey, there's going to be a lot of messiness that comes up from time to time. And so we're not talking about in this new year never experiencing any of those things. It's not about having to remove certain things from your life, feelings or experiences, unless those experiences are harmful to you. And then working on being able to remove those would be good. But it's not about having to get rid of something, because that can be really challenging for a lot of reasons. It's about creating space to allow something more in. And that is my wish for all of you as we head into a new year, that every one of you get to experience something this year, this coming year, and maybe even before the year is out, before 2025 is out, that you get to experience the feelings that you desire, the feelings that maybe you've longed for a very long time, feelings that maybe have felt really elusive to you. You deserve to experience those feelings, and you certainly deserve to experience ease and peace and joy and connection. And so whatever this coming year brings, I hope that those and whatever else you desire is a part of that. I will probably be taking the last couple of weeks of the year away, and I will come back to you in 2026. So I would love to hear from you what did come up for you as you listened, And also, maybe even writing it down in terms of the comments, kind of putting it out there for the universe, for us to be able to support you in that, to hold that vision for you. What do you want to experience? How do you want to feel in 2026? Write it down, name it, identify it. Allow yourself to be seen in that desire. Share in the comments. Wishing you all a beautiful, peaceful holiday and a happy new year, and a year that is filled with more than you might imagine possible for your life. Thank you for being here. I'll look forward to seeing you next year.